Yo, what's good YouTube? It's boardzy, and this is going to be an update on the WLmouse. This is the latest batch. A lot of people have been asking me about the mini, and like every mouse, guys, I will review it. They just have not made it yet. I don't have my hands on it, but this is the newest batch of the BeastX, and I'm just going to go over some of the changes because you guys know I had some side button issues, and I guess that is really the place it makes most sense to start with. And as you see on my old copy, the side button wobble is just ridiculous. This was something that was noticeable in game. It didn't ruin the mouse, like the side buttons still clicked just fine, but they did feel wobbly. There was a ton of pre-travel, and on the new batch, after I have had this mouse for like a week, I didn't want to just test it out of the box and be like, yeah, it's fixed, but there is clearly significantly less movement. Mouse 4 still does have a little bit of wobble, but it's only when I'm like trying to manipulate the button to show it on camera. Essentially, these are solid and in-place side buttons when I'm actually using them, so that is a big W to see them actually improve it. So yeah, the side button implementation does feel noticeably higher quality and just better on this updated copy. But another thing that changed is the coding, and this is not the coding that's going to be on all of the versions, especially the cheaper, I believe like $140 versions do not have the special coating. You can almost see it like glisten, and this does just have a much more grippy feeling. It doesn't have the cold magnesium mouse feeling that the original batch had, and this is just a lot more chalky compared to the rubberized, almost like semi-wet paint feeling on this coating. This is definitely the nicest like texture I have felt on a non-plastic mouse. But yeah, I think you do have to get the custom version of the mouse or just one of the more premium versions that is specified to have the skin texture, which I don't think is the nicest name for it, but you know, it is what it is. And full transparency, full disclosure, there is going to be a zebra edition, you know, the same as this, just because I posted it and so many people were asking. So I asked WLmouse and they were like, sure, why not do it? If you want to take everything I'm saying and be like, this guy is a shill, because I have a zebra version of the mouse coming out soon. But yeah, getting back to the mouse, obviously with the slits on the side, the coating is going to be a bit less noticeable on the sides, but it is still obviously going to be grippier than the previous version and most other non-plastic mice. But yeah, on the clicks, resting my fingers here, it is just very rubberized and just interesting that this texture is put on a metal mouse. Now moving on to build quality, which is obviously an important aspect of the mouse. My sides where I grip the mouse are perfectly fine, but I did see on Stubby FPS's review and just a guy who commented in my stream, they said that they grip towards the bottom of the mouse and that these specific posts are very like unsupported and actually do have some flex, and I can notice that. I'm not gonna lie, like I don't fingertip and apply a lot of pressure towards the bottom of the mouse, but specifically like these bottom posts here, there is a little bit of flex. And that is still noticeable on the earlier version I had. If you grip towards the bottom of the mouse, like there is just going to be some inwards flexing. If they address that in the future, that's great, but it's not an issue that I have per se. Even like if I am claw gripping with my finger towards the back of the mouse, I can't feel any flexing. So sides-wise, I would say the build quality on my unit feels solid, squeezing as hard as I can. I don't have any issues, and you can see like I got the fucking slits imprinted into my thumb. I am squeezing pretty hard. So yeah, really nothing for me to personally complain about build quality wise. The mouse feels solid. There is no creaking, flexing, and at 40 grams, I would say it feels very impressive. And now the clicks are another thing that I just nitpicked on the previous batch that I think were addressed on this one. Unless it is, of course, just copy-to-copy variants, but I complained that the original version just had like pretty stiff clicks with a noticeable, like, it took a bit of time to rebound, so spamming them just was not that easy, but it seems like the click tensioning was adjusted to be a little bit softer and more spammable, but again, it might just be copy-to-copy variants. But I was even busting out the old bump test, which I realized you guys can't see very well, but the new version was clicking first. Trust me, I was running an accurate bump test. So yeah, the new click feeling is very light. It's definitely something that I can get behind that I really had no problems with. I just realized like the coating lines up when you press the clicks down. That is pretty based. But yeah, that is a minor improvement that they made compared to the previous batch, and it is to the point where if I were to just click these two mice, I would be like, yeah, this new one definitely has a feeling that I prefer. And yeah, I don't know how noticeable a difference is going to be in a sound test, but here's the new batch compared to the old batch. And yeah, all around, this mouse is just more refined. I've gone over multiple ways where it's really just slightly improved compared to the first batch. I also had a shipping issue with my first batch where you can see the battery is just not positioned where it was supposed to be. It's literally coming out of the mouse's shell, but it sits flush on the newer batch. But like I said, I figured that was just a shipping anomaly. I don't think they did anything to address the weight balancing, so it is still going to be noticeably front heavy. That is a thing that, at least on the mini version or just updated batches of this, you would like to see it feel just like perfectly balanced, because that can low-key feel like it takes away 5 grams from a mouse. That's obviously just a ballpark number, but you get the point. Like, a perfectly balanced product is going to feel nicer to move around. It's going to glide more effortlessly on a pad, and you're just going to have better control over it at the end of the day. And WLmouse seems like they are very open to criticism and making their products better, so that's why I am really happy to provide that. Yeah, now one of the last things to go over is the sensor, and I did mention in, I forget the video, I think my final mouse update, that I was getting some weird issues where the mouse was tabbing me out of Fortnite and Kovacs randomly, and a viewer actually commented that when you completely close the software, this issue goes away, and I can confirm that that worked. That is still a weird bug that should be ironed out. Like, my mouse shouldn't fuck up my game just because I have the software open, but that was a fix, and that was really the only hiccup I ran into with this batch. Everything else has been absolutely solid, and the dot skates they provided on this mouse were like just some of the worst feeling mouse skates ever. And then I threw on the Merry Christmas glass skates that they included, but then I ultimately settled on some like infinity skates, infinite dots. I genuinely don't know what they're called. Somebody in the comments probably does, but they're just dot skates, and they were solid. And yeah, as far as changes go, I think that's about all I have to say. This video really did not focus on the shape or just how I aim with the mouse, how I feel about it, because that just all carries over from the original review, but I definitely do like my experience with this mouse more on the current batch. Do I feel like I am a significantly better player with it versus the previous one? Obviously not, but I mean, if you're buying a fucking $150-ish mouse, you're going to just want it to feel the best it can. So yeah, that's really going to be all for this update on the WLmouse. If there's anything I missed or you just want answers on, feel free to let me know in the comments below. I'll obviously keep you guys posted, especially on Twitter, about the Zebra version whenever that is going to be available. But yeah, like and subscribe if you enjoyed. That's going to be all. Peace out.